Hello there, this is your host Sammy33, and instead of gameplay action, in this video we're going to take a look around the league, mainly at statistics for our team, the Orlando Magic. So about a quarter of the way through the season, I guess officially we're not, but I mean in all sense of reality we are. 20 games into an 82 game season, we are 11 and 9. You can see the last 10 much better than the first 10. The first 10 we were 4 and 6, and it started really ugly. The play has picked up, three-point shooting has picked up, and we played well in our last 10 winners, a 7 of 3. And hopefully this will continue to trend upwards as we are now in the playoff mix and we try to stay there. Looking at those recent games, there's been one trend that has been really bad, and that's slow starts, and we need to fix that. Slow start against the Lakers ended in a really nasty L. Slow start against the Hawks, a lot of energy to come back and win. And slow start against the Celtics and had a lot of energy to come back and win. The last game against the Wizards, the same thing, a really slow start. We never really got back into it the way we wanted to, and we did have the lead in the fourth quarter, but it took a long time to get there. And then, Washington and Jordan, good quarter, Stackhouse, they did what they needed to do to get the dub. Looking at the schedule for the rest of December, some interesting matchups. Not really worried about January just yet. Just going to finish out December. You see, the road will be unkind. Though we did play well on our West Coast trip, we do have wins against the Knicks, or a win against the Knicks. We got the Nets coming up, and then back-to-back the Celtics and the Bulls. So hoping to get a better showing early against the Celtics. At home against the Warriors, that'll be an up-and-down game. And then back on the road. A tough one. Yeah, a tough one. The Lakers, the Suns. So that definitely will be a run and gun type game. The Jazz, the old version of Stockton and Malone, and the Nuggets not as dangerous as they've been, in more recent times with Jokic, and then obviously before that with Carmelo. Then we go back home. The Bucks, the Pistons. The Pistons will be a tough one because this is really a team that is a threat to win it all. So we will have to do our best to keep that from happening and at least have a good showing. It's going to be a tough environment playing on the road. Same with the Grizzlies. It's not the Grizzlies back in the day or the Grindhouse version, but still, it will not be an easy matchup. Celtics on the road, and then a rematch with MJ and the Wizards to close out the rest of the year. And I'm hoping that we can have a good December. So far, it's not terrible. 2-1 start. I assume we're going to lose to the Lakers. I don't think that's a crazy assumption. The Pistons, I want to say it's probably safe to say we lose that too. But because they're so defensive heavy, I think we could probably muck up that game. And if we can get Miller going, that'd be a huge help to keep it from getting nasty. Look at some stats though. So we start inward with the Magic. Hate looking at the aggregate numbers. Let's look at the average because that's obviously what matters the most, at least to me. Well, in terms of points, no surprise that Tracy McGrady leads the way. You see he's shooting 46% from the field. Mike Miller, less than him, and Grant combined don't have as much as McGrady, but that's to be expected. McGrady's put in a lot of work, and he's going to have to in order for us to get to where we want. You see McGrady is still... this is peak powers McGrady, 96 overall. Kobe's, I don't want to say is equal, but talent-wise, I think we can say that. A lot of people that watch basketball during this era speak very highly of Tracy McGrady. He is, talent-wise, on par. He just doesn't have the success because he didn't have teams built around him to be successful. Part of it coaching, part of it injuries. It is what it is. Nothing you can really do about it. Mike Miller, 6-man, 14 points off the bench. He's been getting more minutes than I probably honestly would like. The issue being that we don't really have another guy to play the 2 or 3. So basically, if you've been watching, especially in stream, Miller comes in first for Hill, and then when McGrady comes out, Miller switches to the 2, and then Cunningham basically fills in minutes as Miller's tired. Thankfully, Miller's just a spot-up shooter, so he's not being super aggressive, attacking the basket, being physical. And defensively, we don't really ask for him to do much. It is what it is. Grant Hill, though, this is a disappointing one. He's shooting 32% from the field, 11.2, so he is averaging double digits. I know he's not the Grant that we're all used to seeing, that Pistons version, 82 overall, not great, but is needed to do more. 3.2 assists. One of the reasons why he can't get assists is because no one respects his ability to shoot. Thus, he's having to work really hard to get guys open. Garrity, 6, Hunter, 6. So really only three guys, and they're combining. You look at that, 46, 57, 58.2 points a game between the three of them. And you're asking the rest of the team to come up. And I'm fine with that. Just everyone pitch in when they can. Armstrong will have a good game here. Hunter will have a good game here. Garrity will, throw 12 points in here. Cunningham will come up with 8 off the bench. We're not asking them to, drop 20 points. Just collectively, someone be productive and help us get dubs. That's all we're looking for. Rebounding, DeClerc, no surprise, he is our starting center. Though I will say, Stephen Hunter, he's been getting more minutes, and his numbers will continue to go up as the season goes on. He's just more athletic. He's young, helps to keep guys off the offensive boards on the other team, and easy baskets, 6 and 6.1. That's not bad. Assists, McGrady leads the way, of course. The ball's in his hands a lot. His usage rate is going to be super high. It is what it is. Steals, blocks, really nothing to say. Hunter, really the only one. That's not really a surprise. 3-point percentage. That's an interesting one. So, Mike Miller shooting 47.8. 47.5, basically 48%. That's really good. Garrity, 42.3. Armstrong 39.5. So we finally are starting to see threes fall, which is nice because if you remember early on, threes were a really big struggle for us. They are starting to go in. There are some guys I would like to see shoot better, though. Grant Hill being one. He's not a great 3-point shooter. I just showed his rating. Show it again if you didn't see. It's a 64. I need more from him. Just collectively between field goal percentage and 3-point percentage, I need more from him. He needs to be more productive on the offensive end in terms of putting the ball in the basket. Work in progress. Cunningham, 14.3. So ideally, we would be able to get another shooter. You see, he's a 53. But if you're open, it's something I talk about on stream when I play basketball. When you're left open, there's times where you have to shoot. You don't feel confident about it going in, but for spacing, you have to take those shots. Cunningham's in a weird spot. We need an upgrade from him, but we don't have one, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get one either. But that is one move I would be looking to make. Maybe not even an upgrade for him, but just a replacement. Maybe moving one of our big men for a 3-point shooting guard off the bench. We'll see. And you can see definitely with the shots. The shots are there. Miller's taking 6 a game, just under 3. McGrady taking 3, Hill taking 3. Then Armstrong and Vaughn, we're starting to feel a little more comfortable with those two guys, so they're shooting more, which I'm very happy about. Same with Garrity. Wasn't really shooting the ball much early in the season, but now we're using him much more effectively. Free throw percentage, Armstrong, he's not really shooting a lot. McGrady, 80%. We're fine with that. Again, Grant Hill, 72%. Man, we just got to get more from the guy. Love Grant Hill. One of my favorite players, my first ever favorite basketball player. Need more from him, though. As a team, we definitely should be shooting better than what we are. McGrady's going to hit, 75 to 80. I'd like to see that get a little closer to 83%. But we need more from other guys, especially Grant Hill, since you are going to be in a situation where you're going to be asked to do a lot. I guess we'll just kind of go off that. Plus, minus, I'm sure McGrady's has to be good. 0.7. Stephen Hunter, we'll take that. Good enough, not great. Is what it is. See where we rank on some things. Clearly wins not high enough. Points per game, near the bottom of the league. Why? Slower pace. So we average 94 points. Slower, low, but we are picking up with the shooting, the perimeter shooting, so that should help. Defensively, am I missing the magic? Oh, right there. 102.1. It's not good. I guess it is good. It's good. It could be worse. We need to pick up that too. some really ugly blowouts, but we'll work on that. Field goal percentage, I'm sure we have to be one of the higher ones, I'd imagine. Nope, we're one of the bottom ones, 44%. Sure, it's probably because of the three-point ball. There we go, 34%. It's not terrible. It's not great. Free throw percentage, I definitely do not like, though. We are not last, but we are not far from it either. 73%, we're like middle of the pack. That's got to be better. The Lakers, of course, are going to be last because of Shaq, but we have to be better. Offensive rebounds, not very high. I'm sure our opponent's offensive rebounds are very high. Defensive rebounds were second, so we'll live with that. Assists per game, up there. McGrady doing stuff, and I'm sure part of it is him getting double teamed, just getting guys open looks. Steals were last, not really forcing turnovers. Blocks, second to last. Turnovers, I'm sure we got to be somewhere in the upper middle, if not the middle. We're actually last. Doesn't seem like it. Maybe it's just how it is when we're on the other side. No, in the game it looks bad, but collectively, the other games that the teams, like the other games around the league, other teams, they're higher. Dead last in second chance points, that's an issue. Points in the paint, number one, even with Shaq. Number one and by a wide margin, so that has to be better. The bench, one thing I really do like, Mike Miller's playing a big role in this. He's taking 14 of those 37 points right there. But other guys chipping in throughout the game help too. So happy with that. And we'll continue to work on things being better. The other thing I want to look at is the opponent field goal percentage. So us defensively, 45%, so it's not bad. And then opponent 3-point percentage. Not bad either. 249. I'll take that. Happy with that. No complaints there. No complaints. And then something else to look at real quick. Look at a couple more things. Allen Iverson. We definitely help towards that. See, in the East, McGrady, a player of the week. Kobe's got 2. Garnett's got 2. Warbler with 1. Nice mix here in the East. All different players. Player of the month, Ben Wallace. Yeah, Kobe and KG in the West. Rookie of the month, Carlos Boozer. I feel like we've heard about that guy before. Same with Jay Williams. Obviously, Yao Ming. These are all guys that Jay Williams would have stayed healthy. It would have been interesting to see what kind of career he would have had. But good players, we know that they will amount to be good things. And the last thing that we will take a look at, not going to focus on the like some of the other things, the draft and stuff like that, because we kind of know who's going to be there. But one thing I did want to look at, standings. Probably the most important thing, right? So we'll go by division. In the Atlantic Division, Wizards 15-4, Sixers 15-4, so both tied atop the division. Nets a game back. We are 4.5 back, but trending the right direction. Clearly the Nets are too. And then the other 3 teams are under 500. Miami, Boston with the nice duo of Pierce and Walker, and then the Knicks, just kind of a hodgepodge of talent, but not resulting in wins. In the Central, the Hornets leading the way at 12-7. Hawks right behind them. Pretty cool because we have a win against them. Toronto and Indiana, we have a win against the Pacers. They're a game and a half back. And then you've got Detroit and Chicago sitting at 9-9. So I'm really curious to see what it'll be like playing Detroit when that time comes. And then looking at the East as a whole, Wizards, Sixers first. One of them will have to be the 3 seed because the Hornets would be the 2 because they lead the division. Man, we're sitting here at the 6th spot. So there's a lot of ground to make up. 4.5 back doesn't seem that bad. We definitely want to do our best to probably avoid facing Detroit. I mean, if Detroit can miss the playoffs, that'd be great. But there are some teams down here to keep an eye on. Chicago, Detroit especially. One I have my eye on will be Milwaukee because they can score. If they could ever get their defense fixed, we got Cassell, Red, The Allen, like they have so much. Thomas, they have so many shooters on that team. Shoot you out the gym. In the West, the Pacific Division, the Lakers lead the way. Shocker. Kings behind them, a game and a half back. Clippers 2.5 back. Portland 5, and then you got everyone else under 500. In the Midwest, the Mavericks leading the way. Interesting. Spurs second, Minnesota third, and really you see the Mavs are the only team kind of significantly over 500. You got 500 and just above, then everybody else falling in underneath. And then for the conference, the Lakers lead the way, Dallas second, Sacramento third. Going down the list, the Spurs in the 5 spot. I'm sure that'll change. I know the Lakers don't want to see them in round 2. Got the Suns lingering down here with some offensive talent. The Rockets with Yao. Yao's injured. We'll see how that looks. And last thing, speaking of injuries, that we'll look at this. Major injuries. Major injuries. Rashard Lewis. Pretty much done. Snow. This will probably hurt the Sixers. If we see them over the next month and a half, 2 months, be a big deal for us because that is a big blow. That's a defensive player and someone that is capable of hitting a shot. Smith, probably going to pull Minnesota back a little bit. Jason Richardson out about a month. Battier out for a couple of weeks. Sean Marion, the man with the ugly shot, out for a couple of weeks. Gasol, out for a couple of weeks too. Gilbert Arenas, ouch. That's 2 big injuries there. Points, buckets. Joe Johnson out. It's really, or he's hurt. So you can play, if you didn't know, you can play if you're hurt. You just take a ratings hit, and obviously the risk of suffering a more serious injury is there. Do you risk it? Do you not? It's up to you. But that's how things are looking. All in all, we are 11-9. As we work our way towards the midpoint of the season, we're going to see if we can kind of push that record a little more above 500 and maybe break through and see if we can host the first round series. That said, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. We'll get back to some action. Expect that Nets game coming up soon. Take care.